Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, yes, is another Lessons in Insanity. And today, this actually directly impacts me and my family, and I thought I'd take a minute or two and share kind of what I experienced today in having a conversation with one of my children who is attending a major American university located in the Midwest. I won't say who that is or what university that is. Obviously, would not do that ever out of fear of, out of fear. I wouldn't call it that, but anyway, I don't want to get sued or be canceled via YouTube, which is always very much prevalent. So I just won't announce the university by name, but there are certain classes that my child, who's really, for all intents and purposes, an adult, but obviously it's still my child. And today, my child, who's attending the major American university, which we will not mention, was attending a course, and that course is called Gender and Communications. And I found out that this is a required course. I don't want to call it a course. I would have to say it's more of an indoctrination, so to speak, given what I have directly heard about this course. So let me kind of set the stage a little bit in terms of where you can truly try and appreciate what this major American college is teaching our children. And the teacher, the professor that is teaching this course, obviously has serious psychiatric issues, illness, so to speak, obvious gender dysphoria symptoms. This professor is a dude, and this dude mostly likes to be referred to as a woman. Now, therein lies where it gets a little bit complicated, because there are times where apparently the professor, the dude, goes from thinking he is a woman to going back to believing he is a dude again. So obviously, it can make it very, very complicated, especially in terms of how you were to address this professor. And the basis behind the class is how you would interact in terms of using the required pronouns to interact with this person. And today, during this specific class, Gender and Communications, they were creating flags. Yes, flags that can be used by the, what do they call that? The LGBTQ plus minus sign. I don't know. It's so off the chart and nuts and batshit crazy that what can you say? But anyway, they were creating flags, and obviously they were blue and pink and white, and you kind of get the idea. But just these flags that could be used, I don't know, in rallies or demonstrations, or I don't get it, but that's what they were doing. And then at the same time, the class is designed to allow you to speak to these people that obviously, I mean, we call them transgenders, right? I prefer to identify them as BSC, which is simply batshit crazy. But I'm just, I mean, you almost have to experience it to believe it, and because of what's happened with remote learning and being able to obtain video evidence of this, is really the only way for one to actually believe what this university is indoctrinating our children. And I've inquired to my child, well, why don't you just leave the class? And I get, no, Dad, it's required. We have to go. You can't get out of it. And then I ask, well, what if you say you disagree with this? Maybe for religious grounds. And then what happens is they hit you with what they call a code of conduct violation for not accepting diversity and inclusion, and so it's a trick 21. And then what even makes it worse is during the teaching process, where the kids are trying to interact with this dude who believes he's a female and then back to male again. I mean, obviously he needs help and shouldn't be teaching college level courses. And he would ask the children during the course, why are you here? What are you trying to get from this class? And what you can tell that they're that he is absolutely trying to do is, because the children, the students are obviously afraid to say, well, I'm just here because I have to be here, or maybe I don't agree with it. But you can clearly see he's attempting to intimidate and antagonize the students into affirming why they're there, in terms of a false narrative why they're there. In terms of, yeah, I'm here because I want to, and then you have to say the political line. You have to regurgitate their diversity and inclusion narrative in terms of why you were there. And obviously, if you say anything different, code of conduct violation. So they require you to affirm why you are there. And again, it harkens back to Winston Smith being interrogated. 2 + 2 is what? Well, 2 + 2 is 5, right? And he has to say that. And, well, he has to say whatever the government wants him to say. Whether it's right or wrong, he has to say it. It's not about what 2 + 2 is. It's about repeating the false narrative, the indoctrination narrative that is occurring. And again, gender and communications at a major U.S. university. And obviously, I get that this is on the news and it's talked about, but I unless you experience it, unless you physically see how this is being taught and what they are doing, I don't think you can really appreciate it. And again, when you look at the professor, and look, the guy has some serious issues, and unfortunately, many of these these persons with this gender dysphoria end up offing themselves at some point. There's a very, very high suicide rate, and you can tell that there's just something very, very much wrong with this individual. But it's you have to accept them. And I mean, you know, in terms of this guy teaching students in this type of environment, in this type of course, I think we've just kind of we've really gone off the reservation with what we should be accepting as a society. And anyway, tell me your thoughts. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you have to say. Have a good day.